The latest leak about the Galaxy S26 has caught everyone's attention, and for good reason. In a time when nearly every smartphone brand seems to be planning price hikes, Samsung might actually be doing the opposite. Instead of raising prices, the company could keep the Galaxy S26 lineup at the same price as last year's Galaxy S25 series. That move alone could make it one of the most appealing flagships of 2025. According to industry insiders, the cost of producing smartphones is expected to rise sharply in the coming months. The main reason is the increasing price of key components like memory chips, which are essential for every modern phone. But Samsung has a clear advantage over its competitors, one that could help it resist this price surge. For now, unlike many other brands, Samsung doesn't depend too heavily on outside suppliers. It makes many of its own parts, from displays and processors to memory chips. This system is called vertical integration, and it gives Samsung much tighter control over costs and production. In simple words, Samsung doesn't need to buy expensive parts from another company. It builds them itself. Recently, Samsung's own memory division reportedly told clients that DRAM prices would increase by about 30% in the last quarter of this year. Coincidentally, that's the same period when the Galaxy S26 series is expected to enter mass production. For other brands like Xiaomi, Oppo, Vivo, and Realme, this is a serious problem. They'll likely have to raise prices to handle the higher costs. But for Samsung, it's a different story. Since it uses its own memory chips, it can absorb these extra costs far more easily. A South Korean report by New Daily claims that Samsung's strong supply chain and in-house chip production mean the company doesn't face the same pricing pressure that others do, at least not immediately. This could allow the Galaxy S26 lineup to launch at the same price as the S25 series. One insider explained that Samsung's vertical integration structure and inventory security are the main reasons it can maintain stable pricing. That's a huge advantage in a market where costs are rising across the board. However, not all reports share the same optimism. Another well-known South Korean source, Han Kyung, has suggested that Samsung is still considering a price increase because of overall production expenses. After all, global inflation, supply chain disruptions, and rising component prices have made it harder than ever for companies to keep phone prices steady. Despite these challenges, Samsung has shown impressive restraint in the past. The Galaxy S25 series, for example, delivered big performance and camera upgrades, all without increasing the price. That balance of value and performance helped it become one of the best-selling flagship lineups of the year. Now, the Galaxy S26 is expected to continue that trend. Reports say it will be powered by the Exynos 2600 processor in most markets, while regions like North America, Japan, and China will get the Snapdragon 8 Elite version. The Exynos 2600 is rumored to be a major step forward, improving both performance and power efficiency. This switch also has another big benefit: cost savings. By relying on its own Exynos chips rather than buying from Qualcomm, Samsung reduces its dependence on external suppliers. This move not only cuts production costs, but also helps keep prices stable while still maintaining profit margins. If that strategy works, the Galaxy S26 could become one of the few 2025 flagship phones that doesn't deliver a price shock. However, memory prices are not expected to drop anytime soon. If they continue climbing into next year, Samsung may eventually have to raise prices for future models. So the Galaxy S26 might be the last Samsung flagship to keep the same pricing. Before the market fully shifts, many consumers are now asking an important question: will a stable price alone make the Galaxy S26 worth buying? The answer depends largely on what competitors do. If brands like OnePlus or Xiaomi end up increasing prices, Samsung could easily become the smarter and more affordable premium option. There's one small issue, though. The Galaxy S26 series might face a slight delay. Reports suggest Samsung decided not to discontinue the Plus model, which pushed back production and could delay the launch until March. While this might not drastically affect sales, it could change how people perceive the release, design-wise. Leaks indicate that the Galaxy S26 lineup won't bring any revolutionary visual changes. Most of the improvements will likely be internal: better chip performance, improved battery efficiency, and software upgrades. So if Samsung manages to keep the price the same, that alone could help attract users who are tired of paying more every year for only minor upgrades. In the end, Samsung's ability to control its own production from start to finish gives it a major edge in today's competitive smartphone market. While other brands struggle with supply costs and price hikes, Samsung's self-reliant structure allows it to offer more value at a stable price. If the leaks turn out to be true, the Galaxy S26 might not just be another high-end phone. It could be the only major flagship of 2025 that actually feels fair in price. In a world where every new phone seems to cost more than the last, that alone could make Samsung's next release stand out from the rest.